In this video, I'm doing a review of the Wordsworth planner. I had not really heard of this one, but then once I found it, I really liked it, and I wondered why more people didn't know about it. So there's a few different weekly layouts, and there's also a daily spread as well. I opted for a horizontal one-sided weekly because I don't really find that very often in a planner. I found this one on Amazon. I'll have the link down below. It came with this little booklet on how to use it and how to use each page, and I just want to show you the other spreads so you can see what else is available. Just let me find those pages. I really like this blue cover. It's a lot brighter blue than you see on most dog grid notebooks. They tend to be more of like a dull or a navy blue, but this one's quite a nice bright blue. There's nothing on the cover except this little symbol down the bottom, which is kind of like their logo. Even though it says 2020, it's actually not dated. So I'm not sure why they put that on there, maybe because that was the year of manufacture. And you can see all the specs on there as well, 120 GSM paper, lay flat pages, there's a pocket, etc. So this is one of their options, the double-sided weekly, which I nearly brought, but then I found the horizontal one-sided and preferred that instead. But if you are someone who wants to manage work and personal with this primary secondary, then that could be a good option for you. The next one is the layout that I chose, which is this one here, the horizontal single-sided. It reminded me of the My Goals planner, which is an Aussie planner brand. The only problem with the My Goals though is that it has yellow paper and I really prefer white. So I felt like this one was a good cross between that, and also you've got a whole page of dot grid. So it's kind of like planner plus bullet journal, I guess, in one. So I really like the weekly spreads they have. I feel like they're very well thought out. And I have noticed more planners starting to do dot grid instead of just lined writing space. So this one is the vertical layout, as you can see, and then I'll just show you the daily, and then we'll actually have a look at the planner that I picked. So then we've got the daily as well, and it gives you an overview of how to use all the other pages as well, like the goals and the monthly spread, etc. So the page size of this one is 5.75 inches wide by 8.25 inches high, which is pretty standard for one of these sewn bound planners. It's a bit chunky. I would say it's about 1 inch thick. And we've got an elastic band. I've just taken it off to film this review. There's 2 ribbon bookmarks and they are different colors, black and blue, which I really like because it matches the whole theme, like the matching blue, and then it's black printed ink on the inside pages. There's also a pen loop as well, and nothing printed on the back except their brand name. And I guess what's in there, all the specs. Okay, so let's have a look. Bright white paper, already a major pro for me. At the front, we have a lot of goal pages, overviews. There's like a map with different time zones on it, travel planning, and then it's followed by the monthly spread, then all the weeks for that month. That repeats, and then there's some dot grid pages at the back as well. So obviously I won't read through all of those. You can just pause the video and have a read, or I will have photos of all of these in the blog post, which will be linked down below if you want to have a look. At the front, we have the contents page. Now, I think they've included this because there is quite a lot of dot grid pages at the back, a lot more than most planners include. So this one for me feels like a cross between a planner and a bullet journal. So if you like a bullet journal but you still want some structured pages, I think this one would be a really good option. So I guess this is why they put the date on it. The only dated pages is just this overview calendar, which you could always just get your own printout if you're using this in 2021 or beyond. Just print out an overview calendar and just stick it over the top and turn it into whatever year you need it for, or just put some notes pages over the top, whatever you want to do to cover it up. There is a dot grid box underneath, and there's some quotes scattered throughout the planner as well. The font is a little bit hard to read that they chose, so maybe something a bit simpler would have been a bit nicer. We have the yearly overview, which is open-ended, so you can start this planner in March if you want to. There's no years up the top. And then we've got just the 1 to 31 down the side. Now, I do like these yearly overview pages, but they are a bit too narrow for me. So this is probably only about, I think, 0.75 inch wide column. So for me, I can't fit more than maybe 1 or 2, if I'm lucky, words in each box. So if you still want to use this, I would use some dot markers, and then you can dot up the top here, have a color code. So maybe like blue is a birthday, green is a vacation, you know what I mean? Like color code it, because you won't have room to write much in the boxes. And I'll have a link down below to some dot markers that I recommend. I really like using them, and I don't know why more people don't use dot markers. They're really functional and nice colors. Contacts page, I think at this point in 2021 that this page is not really required. I don't know of anyone who actually uses these pages and handwrites it. You're just going to put that straight in your phone. So I would get a printable and cover that up, maybe like a password log. I feel that's more useful than a contacts page these days. and hence why they've included one. So maybe if you don't have enough space, you could add some, or just add some notes pages. And if you don't want to glue over the top, you can always just get a little bit of washi tape to stick the printable in. I'll have a link down below to a tutorial that I did on how to resize any printable for any page size. So you can either print it and then like fold and stick it in, but that can make the planner a bit chunky. So if you want to resize it so that it will shrink the proportions of the printable down to suit this page size, that's when you would follow the tutorial, which I'll have linked down below. So we have a time zone world map, and there is me over there in Brisbane. So they've got it all printed for you if you want to have a look. To be honest, I tend to just Google this, but I do like a world map just to look at it and see, okay, do I want to go here, or how far away is that? And I just like looking at maps. So it can't hurt to include it in a planner. We also have a travel planner section. It is very brief. I probably wouldn't use this, to be honest. I need a lot more space. I have a whole Excel spreadsheet, like Word doc, everything. But if you just want to do maybe some overview planning of maybe you want to be in Europe in their autumn or something, you could put some notes in here. Up to you. Then we go into the goals overview section. So this cover section, I guess page divider, whatever you want to call it, has little bits printed on the spine, but if we continue the rest of the way, there isn't really anything. So it is a bit difficult to find the month that you want. I think if they just put like a little mark, sometimes I've seen some planners put like a little black rectangle on the side, and that helps to find it a lot easier. So I think that would be a nice extra if they added that for the next print run. So the goals overview section, this is for the entire planner. There's others later on for the monthly. So we have the why section, mission statement, and then some questions to prompt you into what your goal should be. And then we have, I guess, what you're doing for, it's kind of cross between like a habit and a goal to me. Like that's more habit ones, that's more like a goal. So I don't really structure my goal planning like that, but it is something different I haven't really seen a planner do before, and maybe that will work for some people. Got a dot grid page here as well, a mind map, which is just open-ended. So some of these pages throughout the planner are dot grid, and some like this one are blank. Vision board, there's some more quotes and prompts down the bottom there. Then we have some goals. I do like when they have it split out into big sections, but I also need more for each. So this one here is where I'd put overview, but then I actually have a couple of pages, I'll probably use about 4 behind that whenever I do goal planning, where I list out in detail what each of those action steps involves, if you need to go buy any materials or anything like that. So we've got personal, family, friends and relationships, professional, and then we go into the monthly and the weekly. So now we get into the good stuff. So the monthly calendar, very functional layout. I really like it. There is no split boxes because it's undated. You can choose if you want to split the box, you can, but I really like that you can just restart the top row and continue your numbering. These boxes are pretty small, so unless you write really small or use a 0.3 pen tip, you might want to use some date dot stickers and just cover those boxes up, just because they are going to be a bit small to write in. The sidebar has a monthly focus, do more, do less, don't forget, and then you can put your goal at the top there. Quotes are different throughout, and then we have top 3 monthly goals and the action steps. So instead of having those about 4 pages that I use, I guess they've included it here on the monthly. Good start for me. I still need a bit more space, but I do like to do things in a lot of detail, so this might be enough for most people. And then we have a dot grid notes section. All of the pages are numbered, as you've seen, so if you did want to put those in the index that was at the front, because you know how there isn't anything printed on the spine that I was talking about earlier. So if you wanted to do a quick reference, you could just put in the page numbers, wherever that contents page went. You could put in the page numbers for each month in that index to help you find it a bit easier. Then we have the weekly. So I don't need a lot of space for my days. I prefer to just have a giant to-do list and work off of that. So I don't need a lot of space. 1 page is a really good amount for me, and I really like the combination between the lined and the unlined, and you can always just white over that and do whatever you want with it. So you could do this is work, this is personal, yourself, kids, whatever categories that you want. I think this is a really good planner that could be used in many different ways. School, for a mum, if you're working, you work for yourself, lots of different options. And then a nice big dot grid page over here that you can do whatever you want with. It is 5mm dot grid spacing, which is pretty standard for most notebooks these days, you could do a giant checklist over here and then work out, okay, I want to put that over here, and then color code. So you could color that in like green, and then over here you just got a green highlighter, so you know, okay, I'm doing all the things in green this day instead of having to rewrite it out. So just a few options for you. So there's 1, 2, I believe there's 4, 3, 4, and then, sorry, just doing this one-handed while filming can be a little bit awkward. Okay, so there's 5 weekly spreads for each month. Then we have a review section. So monthly reflection, you can choose whatever you want to put in here. If you want some prompter questions, I do have my monthly review questions list, which I'll include a link to down below if you wanted to download it. And then we also have their own suggestions, so your top 5 accomplishments, how you feel about your goals, what you want to get done but didn't, what you learned. And I really like this habit tracker. It's simple, doesn't waste any space, and you can track 6 habits, which is a fair few. So I really like this page. I think it's well thought out. Some more doc grid pages if you want to put some more notes or some goal planning, and then we go into the next monthly spread again, and that repeats the whole way through to the back. It has 12 months worth of planning, so it will last you a whole year. I just want to show you the yearly review. So it has a similar format to the monthly calendar with a big box where you can put whatever you want in it, and then also some prompter questions as well. I will have photos of this page in the blog post, which will be linked down below if you don't want to pause the video, because I'm not going to read them all out. And again, dot grid writing instead of line writing space. And then we have a ton of dot grid pages at the back, quite chunky. As you can see, we go from 213 to the very back, which is 258. So that is a lot of dot grid notes pages. Another reason why I think this would be good for a student, you could put all your notes here, and then you've got your plans, and it's all in the one notebook, which would be very convenient. We have a pocket folder, which came with some stickers. The colors are not to my liking. They're like orange, kind of autumn colors, but they are there if you would like them. 3 sheets, mainly just functional text stickers. I will be doing a pen test of this planner. I will have the link to the blog post, which will have photos of that, in the description box down below. It is 120 GSM paper, so I am expecting a bit of show through, and I did see a little bit on some of the earlier pages, just faintly. So anyway, you'll see that in the blog post. And that is it for this review. Hope you found it helpful. Don't forget to have a look at the other layouts. If you didn't particularly like this one, there was the other horizontal format. This planner was really affordable. I'll have all the details in a blog post link down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more planner review videos. I usually post one each week.